What is good, music fans? Thank you so much for tuning back in. My name is Pete, aka PA Soul. This is episode 1 of the SoulCast. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I get into it, do me a favor, hit the like button, follow, subscribe, download the episode any way that you can. Show me a little bit of support, and I'll be sure to get the best up-and-coming talent I can find on this podcast. This episode, it's really a meaningful one to me because this is somebody who's been with me through the thick and thin, somebody who's really, shown love in my darkest times and my brightest times. My boy, Heavier Than a Gram, aka Relampágo. He's working on his new project, Seasons, as we speak, and it should be out fairly soon, produced by yours truly. And he's also doing a brand new style of music. He's getting into Reggaeton because of his Puerto Rican heritage. So I was really excited to interview him and learn a little bit about that. It was just a great episode. I couldn't ask for a better sort of step into this podcast game than what he provided me with. We also got an incredible performance by him too, playing a new song, Smackdown. That's going to be on that Seasons project. So without further ado, here's my interview with the one, the only, the very talented Heavier Than a Gram. Right.
Dude, let me get in the shot.
I was going to say, get in the shot, man. I ain't got COVID, you can cozy up.
Okay.
So, welcome to episode 1, the official start of the SoulCast. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm here with my man, Heavier Than a Gram, also known as Relampágo. Or if you're in the Italian community, hey, Relampágo, huh?
That's right. That's funny, man. It's an honor to be on the first episode of the SoulCast.
Honor to have you, bro.
And I'm really excited to have you put this out there and hopefully get some good feedback. And
hell yeah.
Dude, this is great. SoulCast. That's it.
We out here. Take the hood off. It's too warm in here.
Yeah, it's kind of dark.
It's a little bit dark, but you know what? It's fine. This is a home video. We're good.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about you decided to make this new sound, this new venture, because we've interviewed each other a couple different times, and we've always come up with an interesting twist in our creative endeavors. You know what I mean?
Right.
Tell me what inspired this new direction here.
Yeah, so basically,
Relampágo.
So, pretty much like when I was young, I, recognized my Spanish side of my family because it was more predominant. And it was just something that I always wanted to know more about and I was very fascinated in. But we grew up in challenging conditions and we were in the middle of nowhere in the Catskills in New York. And so I never really got the opportunity to venture into my culture, to learn the language and stuff like that. So growing up, being goal-oriented, finding some time on my hand to pretty much venture into whatever I want to put my mind to, it just came to me that this is something that I want to do. And here we are, man. We've been making music. We're about to get into some reggaeton.
Can't fucking wait, man.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Producing this stuff is so much fun. Let me tell you, I don't know. I've gotten more into different. What's up, Mo? I've gotten into different types of music in the past couple, I want to say months to a year,
right?
Other than hip hop, and it's so much fun to produce it.
Yeah.
It's you get in a groove when you produce for hip hop. You get in this very all right, hi hat goes here, snare goes here, kick goes here, but this is a whole flip on that whole thing, and it kind of forces you to go outside of the box a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet, man. So are you excited to how do you feel about getting into reggaeton style beats and salsa, bachata,
fucking love it.
Excited?
Fucking love it. It is so much fun because it's a different, like I said, it's a new adventure for me. I'm really diving into it with 2 feet and just seeing where we end up.
Hell yeah.
So and you answer that question for yourself. How do you feel knowing that you're making this 180 flip here?
Dude.
In style?
Yeah, for sure. It feels good. It's it's a lot of fun too because you know me, I have a pretty weird singing voice, but I've been working on it and trying to improve. So to be able to try something new, even if you're not the best at it, you're going to have fun. you're gonna pick up some cool stuff. You're gonna probably meet some cool people that help you along the way, and it is what it is. It's just like it's part of the process, and the process itself is what makes music so special to people like us.
Yeah. What have you been doing to improve the singing?
Just singing more, just trying to find my range, and like just trying to find comfortable notes to start with, because that's one of my problems. Like I'll just
walk around the house going,
yeah, and it's that like forced like, mommy, and then it finally comes, and it's like so brutal. So you got to find your range and stuff, and like learning without the education is obviously challenging, but there's like, if I could foresee the future, I could imagine there's going to be some gritty but beautiful style there, because it's not by the books. It's just finding it naturally, practicing, and judging yourself, and like taking other people's criticism and stuff. It's gonna be interesting. But
there's that weird feeling when you start singing, like first thing in the morning, when you're like, I don't know if you have this, but I have this, because I get a little bit of phlegm in the morning. I'll open my throat and be like,
it's all crackly at first and everything.
There's like this like weird sound that comes out of your throat early in the morning.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't usually personally, I don't really sing as often as I want to, because I'm usually just dicking around at work, typing numbers into a keyboard. But like,
sure.
And then you can't exactly be like, blah, 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 as you're typing numbers into a keyboard. Damn, Mo.
Just getting crazy.
She gave me a little nibble there. Thought it was a little love tap.
Yeah, she's a little spunky. But
this episode features Momo.
Featuring
Graham's
Momo.
cat. Is this the video debut of Momo?
Yeah, it says, come here.
She's a little bitch.
Yeah, she doesn't want to come here right now.
That look, bro, that piercing look.
Dude, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. You can't call her that.
She's a little puta, bro. Don't lie to me.
Alright, bro. Wait till you have a kid.
Wait till you have a kitten. You can call my kid any name you want, bro.
Okay.
That's what kittens do.
Alright.
So, as far as like, I want to say like the emotional piece shifting here, because you got Heavier Than a Gram was like very deep and dark, and like went to the recesses of the most sort of hidden part of who you are. You know what I mean? It's that like we talk about Gemini, we talk about the two sides of the twin, right?
Yep.
You have the light side that most people see, and the dark side that most people don't see, and that's what you're really giving off in Heavier Than a Gram stuff. Would you say that like the Relampágo stuff is going to be more like, I don't know, the light side of the twins, or is it going to incorporate the dark a little bit? Like, where do you see this on the spectrum?
Sure. So just to break it down for like everybody, I grew up with like role models for what I wanted to venture into, because there weren't always the people there to teach me. So you would find like you want to make music, well, you'd find your artist you want to sound like, stuff like that, and like you just kind of follow that path. So for me, like, it's like the whole personality thing is almost like an Eminem style, where he's Marshall Mathers, he's Slim Shady, he's Eminem. And when I was deciding on almost like a new personality, because it's a new style of music, like a complete new style, I wanted something that meant something positive to me, because Heavier Than a Gram is just that in its name. It's the heavy side of Gram. But something more positive was like, okay, my favorite superhero is the Flash. I have a tattoo of the Flash on my leg. So I was like trying to think of something clever, and I was like, oh, Flash, lightning. To say lightning in Spanish would be Relampágo. So I was like, oh, Relampágo, like that sounds kind of, it rolls off the tongue. And I was thinking, and then actually we were hanging out, and I was seeing what you thought, and you were like, oh, I thought you said Relampágo, and I was just like, oh shit, first name, last name, like we're set.
But I didn't say it like that, did I?
No, you were like, Relampágo.
sounds like some meatball sub eating Italian dude from.
That's right.
From Brooklyn.
That's what you said. Yeah.
You walk into some Brooklyn deli.
Yeah.
It's called Relampágo.
Relampágo. But so yeah, so I was just trying to like come up with something to start the foundation of the personality. So I don't know exactly where it'll go, but I do know that I want to harness on the not the like just light-hearted, positive, happy. Like it's not gonna definitely be like dandelion music, you know, like it's gonna be the exact opposite, like the extreme fun, ecstasy, positivity, you know, curiosity, like, so there might be some trouble mixed in there, you know, but it's gonna be the fun side of trouble.
There's gonna be flavor.
There's gonna be some flavor.
Flavor, I feel like that's the word that comes to mind for me when I think of like this style of music. It's just overwhelming with flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like there's can I help you, young lady? You know, frame. It's just overwhelming with flavor. You know, it's bursting at the seams. And that's, I feel like, one of the reasons people are so drawn to it. Like, I feel like reggaeton has seen this huge, I don't know if it's always been there. I feel like in the past few years it's gone, like, exponential. Like, everyone listens, even white girls listen to it. It's crazy. Dude, I was at a club in college. This was 2017. And I walked in and they were playing reggaeton. And I was like, all these girls, these white chicks dancing around me and like, Papi Chulo.
They were getting into it, yeah.
And I was just like, what? Since when does this happen? This is crazy.
It's attractive music, man.
It's very sexy. It's like very like, there's something about the bass line that goes with the hips, you know?
Yeah, and
really,
it's like you as a beat maker too. Like when like you pointed something out to me when I told you I wanted to get into it. You were just like, oh, that like, you know, like that style of beat, and I didn't even realize what it is, and it's good music that you can like really just get into and dance to and like sing along to, get your emotions out to. Like it's just a totally different flavor, and that's what's like really attractive about it to me. Is like I feel like you could really have fun, but you can go any route you want. Like if I wanted to go like a deep emotional route, you could still do that on a track.
Oh yeah,
but it's like
I feel like there is a lot of emotion in it too. It's, you know, at least the artists that you've turned me on to, like Raul Alejandro and all these guys, there is like a almost Chris Brown type of vibe to it.
To him, yeah, like, I'm pretty sure that's one of his like American role models.
Yeah, because it's got like, you know, people will give me shit for being a fan of Chris Brown, but I've always loved Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown is dope.
And he does this thing where it's party music, definitely. Right. There's no doubt about it. But it's also got this like deep emotional side that's like that underlies the whole party music.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think he and The Weeknd to some extent, and there's other artists that do it, but he's a great example of somebody who does it like so. It's such a good. Stop chewing on my string. It's such a good mix. You know, it's so finely tuned to the point where it's just like it's universal. Anybody can get into this type of music. And I feel like a lot of like the influences you've showed me, they kind of dig into that same energy, where it's like you can 100% dance to this or 100%, you know, be upset about a breakup with this song. You know, either way, the song fits.
Yeah.
So it's very universal.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I know we're gonna have fun doing it too, because we've been making all sorts of music in the past couple of years. So this is just gonna be not out of the usual for us, because we're always doing something new and crazy.
We're always bopping around, man. I think here would actually be a good place to announce to the public that about Truth Marketing, about sort of the decision that I came to and that you came to.
Sure.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Graham's moving on with Truth Marketing, and unfortunately I will not be, just because I could sort of realize that I don't know, I feel like for me that chapter of my life helped me get to a certain point, but it wasn't really what I really, really wanted to do. You know, marketing's great, I love it, but it wasn't like that thing that gets me up every morning.
Sure.
And I feel like unless it is that thing that gets me up every morning, I'd be doing you an injustice as a partner. So
yeah, no, I get it.
Left on good ass terms.
For sure, man.
And we're still gonna be collaborating, doing all kinds of crazy creative shit. And it kind of feels like the tension in the air cleared, at least for me. Because I'm like, now I can just fucking show up and be like,
right,
do a podcast.
Yeah, there definitely came a side of our friendship that like was intertwined with business, and that side of me is a lot of pressure. It's something that I'm natural at because I've put so much time into it. But it could definitely get in the way of like not us being on bad terms, but us being able to enjoy some of the things that made us friends in the first place, like music and stuff like that.
The open creativity, like if you got the business, not that business is anti-creativity, but the ability to just be free with somebody and have that open creativity can be impaired by business. I feel like sometimes.
Right.
So I'm glad that we got to where we're at. We're ready to move forward with Relampágo, with
it's gonna be good too.
Soul stuff, with the new podcast that you're listening to right now.
The SoulCast, baby.
SoulCast. But basically, things are just moving along really well. I feel like, and we're getting to a point now where we're exploring this new side. Now, I want to ask you a question specific. I was thinking on the way up here about like what kind of questions I want to ask you. When it comes to being a Gemini, you think about Gemini. Some people say you guys can't be trusted. Some people say you guys are like the creative force behind all kinds of, like you guys destroy and create and destroy and create. How do you feel like that sort of plays into your identity, if any?
Yeah, I've never been like a big astrology guy. Like, I'm not gonna go tell people like, oh, I'm Gemini and you're this, and I believe you to be this because of your zodiac sign and stuff like that. But I can't lie, when I read the descriptions of like a Gemini and stuff like that, like it definitely feels really fitting. I don't know about the can't be trusted.
Yeah.
I think anyone.
That's just one of those rumors, man. I was listening to that fucking song, that Doja Cat song. You can't trust a big butt on a Gemini. It comes from that like you can't trust a Gemini thing, which I find actually not true at all.
Not
because
true.
I've been able to trust you through the whole process of everything we've done so far.
That's right.
So it's
Relampágo.
I don't buy that shit. Some people that are into astrology like
Right.
to tell you all kinds of shit, but that's always coming from the people who are opposite of, because I'm a moon Gemini, so we share on that level.
A moon Gemini.
Moon Gemini.
Yeah, I'm barely educated on just regular zodiacs, and then all these alternate zodiac symbols. Like, we're just all pretty much part of every zodiac symbol in one shape or form.
Yeah, and you tap into different ones in different seasons and all kinds of shit. But
Seasons,
bro. Tell me about seasons.
So speaking of that, so I'm on vacation right now. This cat is so wild right now.
She's freaking the fuck out.
She really is. So I'm on vacation right now from work, and I've just been taking this time to really just relax, like do whatever I want to do without planning any trips or anything like that. So once I started vacation, I knew I had time to look forward to, and very quickly, I think my body and my mind responded and said, like, you're a doer, you're a go-getter, let's finish seasons. Because that was bothering me, like I was telling you, like, I've already put Heavier Than a Gram behind me, not for good, but I want to journey into my next chapter, and I can't do that and still hold on to the past. And that's what Heavier Than a Gram represents, is the heaviness brought on by the past. So
do you feel like you'll ever go back to Heavier Than a Gram once you're done with it?
Absolutely. I don't think any of my prior journeys are doors closed that can never be re-entered again. Now, to dive into that personality and just be that primarily, it's a very emotional one. So to try to do that musically is like it takes a toll on you. But it was Seasons is like this transformation. It's like an LP, 4 songs, just to not to represent every season, but to get the flavor and the idea of different moods, different feelings, different beats, stuff like that. So it was still like this entity of like Heavier Than a Gram style music. It wasn't really Spanish or anything like that, but you had sent me this beat that was killer, and I wanted a song that was deep and emotional to be a song to represent the closing of a chapter, and almost introduce the next chapter. And I wound up still being able to accomplish that in one way. Like, so the beat you sent me was aggressive, and it was something that I could almost make it like fight music type of shit, like go to the gym, pound it out, like, like just like a dope song. And I was able to incorporate Spanish into the second verse, which was the first time.
I'm hearing about this for the first time, by the way. I haven't heard any, like what I was going to do after this podcast is over is actually mix all this stuff that we're talking about. So I have not heard it yet.
Yep.
This is the fucking first, inkling of it I'm getting.
I think you're gonna like it. It's like aggressive, but not overly aggressive. Like the lyrics are kind of like assertive and have like this like confidence and aggressiveness to them. But the message is ultimately like, no, the message is aggressive. It's called Smackdown. And
Smackdown. Smackdown.
Big fan of The Rock growing up, and that was one of his key phrases, like lay the smack down. So this is the smackdown, and I'm glad I did this because my natural form of music would be to make this deep, emotional, like people listen and they just really feel it. And it's cool to make music that people want to listen to because it's a little easier. It's not like you're reading a story. Sometimes you just want to be entertained by the sounds and the easier quality lyrics. So I went that route and just basically put together in like a very short amount of time. I was writing the song. I had the mic set up because I was doing a different project for you. And I wound up just being like, you know what, this song is here. I know I got to make this song. And I made it. The second verse has some Spanish. I had some fun with it. I have this one friend I'm talking to who checked out the lyrics for me, said it sounds good, you're saying everything right, and it reads correctly. And the rest is history, man. I'm excited to hear this song. I'm excited to put out Seasons finally. This has been a long-ass process. This has been like pretty much since the beginning of COVID, Seasons was an idea. And now it's 4 songs that finally came together, you know, so... I'm excited.
I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to see the project. Like, I don't know about you, but when I release a project, even if it's just a single, when it hits Spotify,
oh yeah,
that feeling is like
feeling
an
sure.
orgasm. It is uncomparable.
Hell yeah!
Like to see something that you made finally be able to be distributed. That's why I love these, social platforms we can stream off of now.
Right.
SoundCloud, Spotify. When we were growing up, you had to actually like rip a song off of some LimeWire, some weird ass website. I remember this might have been a little bit before my time, but it was still around to some extent. What was it called? The one that got sued in 2000.
Was it Frostbite?
Yeah, Frostbite was one, but there was another one that got sued. That was a
Pirate Bay?
Pirate Bay, dude. I ripped all the programs on my laptop to this day off of Pirate Bay.
I hope the FBI isn't watching.
In like 2015, statute of limitations, bro. I'm good.
Okay.
But dude, Pirate Bay was the shit because my buddy showed me how to use the VPN to like, set up the whole like antivirus, and then you can go on Pirate Bay and download it. I downloaded the last program that I downloaded like years ago, and they sent me a message like, don't download anymore because we'll fucking find you.
Oh damn! Who sent you that?
It was I guess Pirate Bay. They sent me some sort of shit that was like, don't download any more illegal stuff because the FBI can charge you with a felony or some shit.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah, but it's whatever. I've had a bunch of friends that did that shit, and it's fine.
It is what it is.
Because at the end of the day, like they were this stems back to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is, I forget what the hell the name was. I think it was Rhapsody or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
But there's a huge lawsuit in the early 2000s about like digital copyright, because people were just like we were just completely downloading,
just ripping everything,
gigabytes of music and
right.
ripping everything, especially like college age students and post college people like us in their 20s were just ripping music, and the artists weren't getting paid. But more importantly, the labels weren't getting paid. So the labels and their team of fucking greedy asshole lawyers got together and they said, okay, what we're gonna do is we're going to kind of clinch the flow of this. We're gonna put a dam up. And what we're going to do is we're going to have this act put into play, which is basically going to prevent people from being able to illegally download anything.
Yeah.
And we still are kind of seeing the effects of that today. When you scroll down on Google, it says, blah, 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 results have been removed due to DMCA. That's that act. And that was the record labels saying that, oh, we're not getting our piece of this pie.
Right.
And, dude, it's one of the biggest failures of the music industry. And that's one of the topics I actually want to, cover on this podcast, is the music industry and the business of music too. One of the biggest failures was the inability to adapt to the fact that the internet was taking over. They wanted to still, they wanted to discourage people from adapting to this new framework
Right.
by saying, all right, what we're going to do is we want to keep selling records because that was our bread and butter. So we're going to sue college kids for downloading music.
Right.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Could you imagine an industry that would sue? Imagine if, I don't know, Sherwin-Williams started suing its own customers because they were getting paint somehow underneath,
Right.
It's a horrible business tactic. I don't know who was responsible for this, but it's stupid.
Yeah, and it is, but like at the same time too, is like their hands are probably in the air, like because at that point, like you being an artist, like if you're not making any money or no, you could be making so much more, but there's this problem with like illegal pirating going on, and it's like no one else could really step up, so it makes sense that the labels did and said this is what we have to do, because if not, we don't get paid, but the people working hard to make the music that you like aren't getting paid either,
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I could see it. Like if you worked your ass off, like you've been into music forever, you work your ass off, you make it, you get popular, and there's a bunch of people listening to you, but you're not getting the money that you deserve with all those people listening to you, because most of them are stealing your music. You'd be suing the shit out of all your fans, So
I don't know. Personally, I find the idea of suing my fans to be ridiculous. But
Pete's pro sue his fans.
Yeah, I'm gonna sue every single one of you. If you even touch me, I'll be like, no.
So
I'm just kidding. I'm a hugger, bro. That's why, dude, COVID has fucking killed me.
Yeah, you can't hug anybody.
You can't hug anybody. I haven't shaken hands with anyone.
Yeah, that's
in
rough.
the fucking, I don't know what. We're in month 6 now.
Yeah. Something like that.
But dude, there's another good question. I feel like we're bopping around from topic to topic here.
We're jumping around.
We're jumping, but you know what?
My ADHD mind is still on track, so
fuck it. We'll just keep going wherever we're going.
Let's go.
Do you feel like the pandemic has slowed your creativity or inspired it?
Oh hell no! Oh. There's a little taste of Relampágo, but no, not at all, dude. Like, if anything, it's just put the world into perspective. Like, we get very used to our habits and stuff like that, and if your habits are going out, if your habits are incredibly social, I get that. I'm not saying anything bad against those things, but you don't have those things, so you have to find other things that you like, or you have to put your mind deeper into what you already like and are doing. So, like, with music and stuff like that, it kind of freed up some time where I was able to dive into it deeper, and the deeper you dive into it naturally without forcing yourself, you're just like, I want to do this, like, you have the desire to do it, then you're going to put in the work to, breed some intense creativity, I feel like creativity is like muscle growth. Like, you have to beat it up for it to grow,
It's 100% true.
You got to beat it up for it to grow.
Beat it up. You gotta put one hand on one hip, the other hand on the other hip, and you gotta beat it up. Dude, you can't fucking you can't accelerate yourself as an artist, I feel like, without a trial and tribulation. I'll admit, like, for myself, I kind of ran into a hard spot because I'm such an extrovert, because I like to go out so much and interact with people as much as I do. And that option is no longer there, and people act really cagey and weird whenever you try to interact with them in a normal way.
Sure.
I found myself kind of stumbling and tripping through this whole thing, being like, how am I going to fit into this brand new world? You know what I mean? Because there's such a disconnect now with the communication that we have.
Yeah.
I feel like. People can't really, you're wearing the mask, so all the social cues that you would get out of somebody's mouth and nose and face are gone.
Right.
And so you got to kind of like, I don't know, that took a weird toll on my creativity, but in a good way, because I feel like it's allowed me to sort of boil it down. I feel like I might have been going too complicated in the past, or too general, and this has allowed me to sort of like condense it into something that's worthwhile. Do you feel like that's happened to you too?
Yeah, kind of. Like, I'm a very social person, and at the same time, I'm very, like, there's both of those sides of me where I really enjoy my personal space and kind of being detached from the world. And then there's a side of me that loves people and loves just being social and, you know, like just extroverted in a way. So yeah, there's weird social cues now. Like I shook someone's hand the other week. Like
I love that reaction.
Naturally I did, because it was a business deal and you shake hands at the end of a business deal. And so I was like, yeah, thank you for that crack. No, I'm kidding. But no, so it was at work.
Cruising downtown Albany looking for some fucking dope.
Just for some crack.
And he was like, thanks, man.
Yeah, can I get
really
some
appreciate
crack?
it.
Whoa,
Thank you.
COVID, not cool. But yeah, so pretty much like at the end of the interaction, like I went to shake their hand and they shook my hand, and you can just feel that energy, like that, like, should we be doing this? This feels so dirty and so wrong, you know? And then we like kind of looked at each other in the eyes, and besides the beautiful love going on between it, it was just like, this feels good. We miss shaking hands, and we're just like, you have a good day. It was nice to meet you.
You know? Just looked at each other. I give you the sun, the rain, the moon.
It was a magical moment, bro. It felt so good to shake someone's hand. Probably the way you would feel like shaking or hugging, like
Oh, dude,
someone that you don't hug often.
Only person I shake hands with now, and because he's, you know, a little bit less concerned about this whole COVID shit than most people, is Dr. Joe, my chiropractor.
Yeah,
it's the only person and I'll tell you what, there's something really, like you were saying, therapeutic about when you reach out your hand and his hand hits your hand,
right?
And you're like, whoa. And I never thought in a million years that I would overanalyze something as simple as a handshake.
Yeah.
You know? But here the fuck we are, dude.
Dude, here we are shaking hands, and we're trying to get back to it at least.
Voting for Kanye?
Yeah, that was my first vote. It was either him or The Rock.
Dude, The Rock would have been an amazing president.
Yeah, The Rock would have been... I don't know, though, because I don't know, like, his politics or anything, but he would have been the best representation. I love The Rock. I think The Rock's amazing, dude. But I don't know what he would actually do with that type of power and responsibility, you know, because he's really good at motivating people, which is great. That's like, probably one of the main ingredients for good leadership. But, like, there's a lot else to it, you know? It's like, you can't just run around saying, be humble, be hungry, be the hardest worker in the room every day. It's like... What about, you know, like...
What about nuclear bombs?
What about nukes Yeah, just, okay, how will you deal with nuclear
smackdown
bombs?
on nuclear bombs.
I will lay it the smackdown on the nuclear bomb. You know, it's like...
Can you imagine John Cena as president?
Oh, that would be another good one.
Amazing.
He's a good leader in general.
Be like, yo, North Korea.
Yeah, he would hit them with the you can't see me, and then it would be a rap. He'll start rapping, too.
Bro, but that's actually one of the things that I'm least... that I tune the fuck out of politics. I feel like I tune the fuck out of anything to do with establishment thinking in the past few months. And I feel like that has been a really positive influence on creativity. Like when you really, like, there is a tendency nowadays, because we're online so much of the day and because we can't go outside and just do whatever the fuck we, go to a concert,
right?
Go to, even go to the supermarket and people are freaking out and holding a cart like, like, so I've been just slowly like withdrawing, like, nope, I'm not putting up with that, not talking about that, not thinking about that. And I feel like there's some people call that being a hermit, but there is some sort of like weird creative benefit to that, because like when you start to peel away layers of bullshit that's going on around you that you don't need, you get to like the heart of something that's really, really amazing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. And we all got a different perspective on like how this really affected us and like stuff like that. But I think the world is getting back to some sort of normalcy, and like
we'll get there.
I'm just excited for people to be able to get back together again. You know, like
excited for concerts again.
Festivals, concerts. Like I want to enjoy people. I love going to even small concerts and just like moshing in a mosh pit, or just jumping around, like throwing your hands around for whoever you're listening to and stuff. And plus, like, I haven't performed in a really long time, but I'd probably be like pretty excited to perform again. But like, I wouldn't want to do it like where people are in cubes, you know? I want everyone to just be smashed in a crowd, just sweating all over each other.
You want people in glass cubicles?
Yeah.
They have to walk into it and seal it shut with a fucking vacuum seal?
Everybody's sectioned off. Like, I would do it, but, like, it's just, come on, like, when do we get to just sweat all over each other again and, like, dance and meet people and just be in that vibe? Because at the end of the day, like, the world is full of so many different things that are stressful or important or whatever. And, like, you know, don't deprive us of our one thing. Like, I get it. I get the safety, health factors behind it. But, like, the shit is just ridiculous, man. Like, I feel like we've been social in much different circumstances that were also dangerous, you know.
Swine flu, bro.
Swine flu, the regular flu,
SARS-1,
other diseases, you know, other common colds. Like,
I feel like the idea of safety has gotten so out of control. The concept of safety. I don't know if it's a worldwide thing right now or maybe just an America thing, because I haven't been to Europe or Asia. I've only ever been to Canada.
Same.
So I don't know if it's a worldwide thing, and I don't keep up with this shit, but I feel like the idea of safety has just gone completely haywire.
Yeah.
Nobody can do anything for themselves anymore. That's why we admire people like Cameron Haynes, for example. Like, you know, like people who hunters and sort of vigilantes and people who do their own thing, because I feel like 98% of people are so safe. I feel like that's also why anxiety and depression is so bad, in this country at least.
Yeah.
Is that we're too safe. There's no risk involved in anything, so we have to make up all these problems that aren't real. Because we removed all the sharp edges and all the, you know, challenges from life.
Maybe that's why people are so sensitive too, because they just our biggest concern is just
safe.
Being politically correct, being accepted, having groups to represent our, you know, and it's like, not to diminish them and say that they're not necessary in certain circumstances, but like, I don't know. I grew up watching like raunchy comedy, so like I can appreciate people who can be a little more raw in their vocabulary, you know.
And a little bit, you know, I'm not saying that we need to abolish all laws and go back to a state of duels and anarchy. I'm saying that we need to dial back the safety a little bit. You know what I mean?
We should duel. We should duel out our problems.
I challenge you to a duel.
A Yu-Gi-Oh duel.
I got a black powder pistol.
I got a steel over ground ready to fucking...
Yo, I shot a black powder pistol one time. Did you tell you about that?
No.
It was in 1894 or 3, I don't know. 1890s black powder pistol that my uncle has. And I remember I was in the backyard. This is some real redneck shit. I was in the backyard of my grandfather's house. And we just set up a little target. And this thing is like a fucking blunderbuss. It's like this big, and you gotta like kind of hold it with one hand and like kind of wrap the other hand around. I just kind of held it with one hand because I was like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, but here we go. Know your protection or eye protection.
Oh,
stupid.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that shit.
Yeah, not good.
Always put on your... I know what I said about safety. Don't lose your hearing because you're being dumb. So I lined up the gun and I went bang, and all I heard was whee, and I was blinded for like a second because like black powder is the most explosive stuff we have for gunpowder. So I was just kind of whee. I was kind of stunned. My uncle saw it, and he came over and grabbed the gun out of my hand, and I was sitting there like, what the fuck did I do?
That's brutal.
So stupid.
That's probably a lot of fun, though. Like,
it was, dude, shooting guns is, like, I'm not professing I'm some crazy gun nut guy, but, man, I get it.
Yeah, the fun.
Shooting guns is fun.
Yeah. Especially when you start really, like, focusing on the skill, too, of, like, being a marksman, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I want to get into it, man. But
definitely a lot of fun.
Dude. I got one last question for you.
Yeah, let's go.
You mentioned mosh pits earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any crazy mosh pit stories that the world should know about?
Not crazy mosh pit stories. I mean, I was always, like, excited. So, I always, like, oh, I'm a part of something, you know? Like, you just jump in there. I was way too excited and happy to be in a mosh pit, and I've gotten, like, my ass kicked, like, multiple times, because I think, like, a lot of times you'll... like mosh pits are cool, but a lot of times you do run into those drunk people that are like in a mosh pit because they're just letting out that drunk energy and stuff like that. And if they see somebody who's like, you know, like at that time I was like prey, you know, like I was like a fresh dude who didn't really understand like even how to mosh and stuff. And so I remember being in a mosh pit and this big dude, I felt like he was picking on me. And just because he kept hitting me, kept bumping into me and like really fucking me up, like knocking me down and shit. And I wouldn't get out of the mosh pit because I was like, you know, I'm having fun, this is what we do. And I remember at one point he had hit me really hard in the head and I fell into this pillar. And right when it happened, it was like, for me, I just flipped. I went from being like happy to being like, okay, we're fighting now. Like, because you're kicking my ass. It's the same person and you're kicking my ass. Like, you're fucking me up on purpose. So it was like, I flipped. I turned over and like I was very like aggressive in the eyes. Like I was like looking to kill. And when I turned over, I see the guy and he's looking at me. And then in the corner of my eye, I have this friend Tyshawn and we used to go to concerts together. Corner of my eye, we used to do this one move called, I think it's just called like a spin kick. Like you just jump, do a 360 and kick at the end, like some karate shit or whatever. But we'd do it in mosh pits a lot. And you wouldn't do it to people. You would just, it's part of your mosh routine.
Were you one of those dudes that would like the early mosh, like they would open up the mosh pit and only like a couple people would go in at the first point, and there's always one dude that's like...
Yeah, well that's pretty much everybody moshing.
No, but there's always that one guy that was having like a legit fucking freak out in the, like by himself.
Yeah.
And just arms swinging, legs fucking swinging, like... Ah!
Yeah.
You that guy?
No, I never really knew what I was doing, you know. I just go in there and just imitate what I've seen other people do. But yeah, so anyways, so I turn around and I'm ready to fight for my honor because I'm getting my ass kicked. And in the corner of my eye, I see Tyshawn just go from, you know, from the ground level, just float through the air like a majestic, you know, mosh pit creature. Full 360 and just like some WWE like crazy shit. Just full 360, just kicks the guy in the side of the head.
Oh,
the guy
shit.
goes down, and I guess Tyshawn had saw like me getting beat up, you know, and so he was just jumped in and like. That was just wild for me. Like the guy stopped messing with us. I don't really know what happened because I was really out of it. But like,
you got Bruce Lee in the fucking face. Like
he was a big dude though too, so like I felt like he would come kick our ass pretty easily. But yeah, he didn't mess with us after that. I was kind of with a crew too, so we all formed back together once we saw shit was going down, and then it was, you know, it is what it is from there.
That's the thing I realized about mosh pits early on is you can't go in alone. You need to have a little crew of dudes that are hopefully bigger than you.
Right.
That can have your back. If you fall, you can get picked up again.
Yeah.
People are generally pretty cool at most mosh pits, but at metal shows, there was a definite like undercurrent of like, I'm trying to murder somebody. And you gotta really be aware. Uh-oh, you get a FaceTime call.
Oh.
Yeah, go back to photo booth.
We still up? Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're still rolling. Fucking sweet. So, but I was saying that you gotta definitely have that crew of dudes. Like I was fortunate enough when I was in high school doing a lot of moshing that I had all friends that were bigger than me. I was like the smallest dude in the crew.
Right.
So like I was taking really, like they would surround me like the baby. Like I was taking really, I was the youngest and also the smallest, so they would just kind of protect me from the fucking crazy animals. I did get a concussion though one time.
At a mosh pit? Oh yeah, that's not good.
I got thrown into, it was Slipknot. We went to go see Slipknot.
Yeah.
As anybody knows Slipknot, the mosh pits are
I'm sure they're wild.
insane.
Yeah, I bet.
You just get the biggest, craziest white nationalist motherfuckers, and they're all just like bashing into one another. And there was this one guy that threw it. I was on the outside. One guy that must have been 350 throw another guy that must have been 300 at me.
Oh shit!
Like a fucking mattress came like coming at me, and I was banging my head. And this dude,
Alright, we're still
blown up.
Yeah.
This dude straight up smack right in the front of the face. And I remember I had to, like, I saw this. There's this weird thing when you get a concussion. Have you ever had a concussion?
Yeah.
You know that thing where I had that weird And then I sat down on the grass and was like, what the fuck? And the next day I had to go into urgent care, and she's like, oh yeah, you got a concussion.
Yeah.
What happened? She's like, did you get punched in the face?
Scary as hell.
I was like, I mean, kinda.
Right.
I got a mattress of a dude thrown at me, so.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know if that counts, but dude, mosh pit. I miss mosh pits. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to get back to them.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. This seems like a natural. You're getting blown up. So it seems like a natural.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm late for my next interview.
And you got an appointment interview.
Yeah, I got another interview for
Relampágo.
Relampágo. People want to know.
He's a very busy guy.
That's right.
He's very popular.
But thank you for having me on the podcast, man.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to be your first episode.
Let's tell the world what you got going on, where they can find you.
So go listen to Heavier Than a Gram, the first album that's been out. Seasons will be out very soon, hopefully in the next week or two, and then some Relampágo Reggaeton will be out in the near future as well. Go follow me, Heavier Than a Gram, pretty much my handle everywhere. So Heavier Than a Gram on Instagram, Twitter, MySpace.
MySpace? You're still on MySpace?
Tiny URL? No, I'm kidding. I don't know. But Instagram, go follow me, Heavier Than a Gram. And yeah.
Hell yeah. And we are going to be treated to a performance.
That's right.
Heavier Than a Gram. It's going to come up right after this. Give me some.
Hola, que lo sea aquí. It's your boy Heavier Than a Gram, aka Relampágo. Bienvenido a SoulCast con mi hermano Pie Sol. Esta es mi canción nueva. Se llama Smackdown de Seasons. Y'all ready? Let's do this. You know what it is. Yeah. It's that new shit. Seasons. Smackdown. Heavier Than a Gram. Y'all ready?
Hey.
Yo. Hey, I remember days cruising in that Lincoln. I was college refund spending, premium gas in the V8 engine. I was broke, boy, but still with the crew day drinking, obsessing over women. Told my younger self stop simping. Now we grown up like a garage band, the Pro Tools, strategic plans and boss moves. I'ma show you what a boss do. Side hustles from the bottom, watch them improve. Not too cool, but fuck school. Got the internet and YouTube. Learn from mistakes and never make an excuse. No kid games and no favors. Walk outside and say hello, neighbor. Still got time to manage my paper. Multiply and ride with my skaters. Grab a mic to light up the meters. On my grind, I rise like a taper. Fade you real quick. If you come through with that static, the rap throne, you can have it. Wouldn't no passion if the shit smacked you upside your stupid ass. Consistency is a habit. Quick to the bag, I'm stacking. Keep them gums flapping and y'all can get the smackdown. If you act foul, don't waste time, better attack now. I'm way up, these haters mad cause they back down. Ain't gonna do shit, better know your place in the background. Don't act proud, ain't losing my shit. The new me never forgets just who that I've been. Always knew that I'd win, let it smack down. If you act foul, don't waste time, better attack now. Yo, don't forget them selfish moves, you trust them, then they double crossing. That's why I think a step ahead to make them forfeit. If life is just a gamble, baby, then I'm all in. And I ain't folding, drop a stack on some real estate. Rent it or just flip it, get it back, watch it elevate. Working from my kitchen, moving cash in a legal way. Familiar with the system, get the bag, then I'm heading straight. Out there for the distance, live in Puerto Rico, las playas. Buscando mi cultura, bailando en la salsa. La isla es la cura, vamos mami ahora. No juegues más dura, quieres venir conmigo, quiero verte desnuda. She said, oh my horses, park the beamer, quiero un beso. Had a night, won't forget, pero quiere por mi dinero, todo bien, I know this. I'm on a whole new level, you can't stop my focus, but you can all get the fucking smackdown. If you act foul, don't waste time, better attack now. I'm way up, these haters mad cause they back down. Ain't gonna do shit, better know your place in the background. Don't act proud, ain't losing my shit. The new me never forgets just who that I've been. Always knew that I'd win, let it smack down. If you act foul, don't waste time, better attack now. Don't back down.
Yeah,
Smack down, baby.
better attack now.
Better attack now. You know what it is. I don't back down. Yeah,
Better know your place in the background.
yeah,
Don't act proud,
yeah.
don't act proud.
SoulCast, heavier than a gram. Relampágo, be a soul. Y'all ain't ready for this. We out here, baby. Let's get it.